Hello and welcome back. If this is your first time here, I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education, and in this video, I'm talking about a few stocks that have been some YouTube favorites and have lost support recently, and what in the world is going on and how do we play it. That's exactly what I want to talk about in this video, but I do have a question for you. Do you happen to know what Super Mario's pants are made out of? Denim, denim, denim. All right, enough with the fun. Let's get down to business. So in this video, I'll be using the Moomoo app, and I will tell you later how you can get up to 16 free stocks using my link that's down in the description. Also down in the description, you'll find a link for Patreon. You can do that to get access to my exclusive content. The first stock that I have for you right here is my friend Aapl, and when we zoom in, we can see these two red candles down below the 50-day, which was significant support for us, but now has turned into an area of resistance. And we have these peaks that we're setting back on. This goes all the way back to the end of 2021 before the market sold off in 2022. And we have three relatively close peaks to one another. And it is possible that we settle down as low as 168. So we'd be going down from its peak that it had another 5% from that peak. However, from its current price that we see right now, down $10, it's a little over 5% of its current price that I could still possibly give up and before we start to settle a little bit, but it's also possible that we bounce right here. I think one of the big things that we have for any of the stocks that I talk here today would be the CPI, and I'll bring in the Qs at the end of this just so we can talk about what to expect and see in the markets. So for Aapl, I took this as an opportunity to do some dollar cost averaging, watching the price fall like it did. Some nice red days going all the way back to August the 1st. Red candle, red candle, red candle. Was that 5 in a row that we have? And I thought, hey, you know what? This thing is trading 10% down from its peak, and why not ride the wave down on a stock like Aapl, one that does have staying power over time, as much as we can know. Going forward with a company like Aapl, we don't see the iPhone going anywhere anytime soon, and Apple services taking off like they are, and I think they're really going to fill out that services side, which can really lead to higher margins. So we'll have to watch that one. So for Aapl, wanted to bring it up, wanted to say dollar cost averaging, wonderful approach for something like this. Going all in while the stock is dropping and you don't know how far it's going to drop can be something that can really leave you in a bad way. So dollar cost averaging can be a better thing, investing in good companies over time, and then you can do it periodically. You can do it when the drops happen in the market for the different stock, whatever it is that you want to do for that dollar cost averaging approach where you buy little pieces at a time. That's my plan for Aapl and actually for all these stocks coming up here. So the next one that I have for you is Tesla. And this is one that people are saying, man, I wish this thing was $150 per share again. Check out the bullish channel that we're on for Tesla and the fact that we're sitting right about in the middle of it right now. And I think that we could see that price softness come in. It is possible that we come back down to about $215 per share. And, you know, I think that takes significant market bias. It takes significant sentiment that's going to push it down that far in the first place without any company news whatsoever changing about it. By the way, this is new to me, so maybe you guys are ahead of it. If you ahead of me on this one, if so, leave a comment down in there. Twitter, also known as X now, and Facebook, which is now known as Meta. I guess the two billionaires who have changed the names of their companies to be something else. Well, they're planning out some MMA match or something like that, and I guess it's supposed to be a charity event. I don't know if that's just like them messing around or if it's something that's actually going to happen, and Elon Musk says that it's going to be streamed through X, which is formerly Twitter, and I don't know. I think it sounds pretty crazy. I think that it could raise a whole ton of money and bring just a little bit of fun to things. And Elon actually mentioned about war and men like war, but this is, I don't know, civilized war. I don't know. Read the quote, and that's beside the point. Let me move away from that. Tesla has recently lost its 50-day like Aapl did. However, Tesla is sort of clinging on to it a little bit, right at about $250 per share. And I think that's why the 50-day where it's at, and the 50-day currently, as of the recording of this video, is $254. And $250, I think, is a nice area of support for us as well for Tesla. And you can see that it was reluctant to give it up. And we also had this spot over here where we had two different candles. The low was 240 and the low was about 241, just under it. And this one for today, the low was 242, almost $243. So we are finding a little bit of support right around that 240 mark, and we could look left, which it's just very good to do. Check your horizontals, see where else you had support and resistance, where else did you have price action stagnating, where did you have it moving, and that can tell you a lot about the charts that you're looking at. And I do think, I said before, that we hit 230 before we hit 300, and as I've also mentioned before in my videos, we almost hit 300. It almost made, I was 71 cents away from being wrong. So far, it's looking like we're heading in that direction for that 230. I am an investor in Tesla. I have my Tesla stock price prediction out. You can check it out in some of my other videos. If you want to be a Patreon member, it's available on the Patreon. You can check the link down in the description for that. You have my earnings forecast out through 2030. And, it's a testament to my position in Tesla, my belief in Tesla, that it does have a lot of staying power and it will have brighter days in its future, even if it does sell off. So when it does have these times that it does pull back from its high prices, to me, those are just getting a stock that I already like, just cheaper. So back when it dropped down to almost 150, actually, where did it end up falling down to? So this is on April the 27th. The low price was 152.37. So it looks like it almost got to that 150 mark that people were waiting for. And I hope that those people waiting for 150 took advantage of it. And you could see it ended up riding right along this horizontal that we have, diagonal that we have here. Broke the 200-day golden cross moment. Wonderful. Which, by the way, my watch list of stocks available through the Patreon. I checked out the statistics on it today. And out of the ones that so far have played out for better or for worse, I think, for my long positions, I think 74% were successes, and the remainder, that 26-ish%, were failures. So to go 3/4 wins, 1/4 loss, not too bad. Now, the trend is your friend when it comes to that sort of trading for long lists, because the markets were long, so the stocks also being long usually gives you a better bias. If you look at my short list, that one, it's slightly flipped the other way, where only 1/3 of the shorts that I picked out were successful, whereas 2/3 of the shorts that I picked out were unsuccessful. And if you put them all together, if you combine the entire thing into one stack, I'm still more than 50% to the win side, to the success side, and then less than 50% to the failure side. The next thing that I will put out on that is the statistics that go along with it that say about the potential turnout that could have come from that. In this case, potential profit instead of potential loss that could have been there. Assuming that and when I say potential, I mean maximum potential that would come out of it. There could be anything in between. So let me move along from there, from Tesla. So Tesla, dollar cost averaging on this one. If we see like 215 again, I'm not going to be all that surprised. I'm also not going to be surprised to see a rally up at some point in time, especially when market sentiment returns to be very strong and very clear, especially with sentiment on Tesla, watching its demand play out, that we see that 300 and beyond. So I don't know if that happens by the end of 2023. I actually have it over $300 for the end of 2024, which from where it sits right now, just getting to $300 is still a 20% gain between now. Let me see, what is it right now? It's August. So 16 months to make 20% of your money. That's not too bad. So I think honestly, from where the markets are at now, there's alpha in that. That means gain beyond what the market would return to you. So that's my thoughts on Tesla. And I think dollar cost averaging approach on something like this would be a wonderful play for it, because I think that it is a stock that could return to you over time. Now, this is just my thoughts, my commentary, my own personal stance. It is not financial advice. The last one that I want to talk about is Nvidia. Also, I have the earnings forecast, the Nvidia earnings forecast, the Nvidia stock price prediction just for this quarter that we have coming up. Actually, I'm sorry, by the end of 2023 is where I have it projected out to, where we could see that happening. And I did say for Nvidia, we could see down to 400 before earnings. We could see up to 500 before earnings. If we hit 500 before earnings, it is possible that we sell off with earnings. So if you want access to that Nvidia stock price prediction and forecast, you can find it through the link down in the description for the Patreon. Click sign up. Check it out. If you don't want to, then just stick around YouTube, and I'm happy to have you here just to check out the videos, check out the opportunities I present, and hit me up down in the comments and say hello. So Nvidia fell out of its bullish channel, and I've talked about this before, the bearish divergence where the price was going up, but the momentum was falling on it, and we dipped down just below bullish into bearish territory, and that's the day that you see us breaking down out of this channel. The next move on this, depending on what the market does, the next move on this could possibly drop us down to about the 50-day at about $428, $430 per share. We're going to have to see where Nvidia goes from here. So I do, after this big run that it had, expect some profit taking to take place, especially leading up to earnings. And the big thing, and I mentioned this before, I think the big thing that we have weighing on the markets right now that's going to keep it from really moving it. I mean, the Dow's having a wonderful day today, or had, I should say. The market's closed at 4:30 p.m. as of the time of this recording. Dow was up over 1% after a few days of losing. Nasdaq was up 0.61%, and S&P was up almost a full percent. It was a good day in the markets. Let's go over to the Qs. I will say Thursday CPI, absolutely huge to watch that come out. I also have my CPI spreadsheet available over at the Patreon. You can go and check that out. I'll put out a CPI video prior to the CPI's release on YouTube, so you can also hear what I have to say there. But the full workup, like I said, and the video that goes along with that workup, they're available over at the Patreon. And that's enough selling of that stuff. It is how I literally keep the lights on in here. So let me move on from there to the Qs, and we'll see what could happen leading up to the CPI and what could happen following the CPI. So just a little bit here, because this is mostly about Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia. But what we have here for the Qs that we're looking at is that we are near that 50-day. I think it is possible that we give up just a little bit more and that we end up sitting right about that like 367, maybe even down to 365. So it is possible that we give up 2 to 3% between now and Thursday's release. And to see the pre-market red prior to 8:30 a.m. Thursday of this week when the CPI is released, we're going to have to watch for that. So the CPI, I think it's going to be a huge catalyst for us. I think the markets are going to be hesitant to make any big moves between now and then, especially where the NASDAQ is concerned. We're just going to have to watch and see that. The SPY is also another one. Here, we'll take a look at the SPY. 450 is where it's sitting right now. Again, another one where I could see it give up maybe about 2% or so leading up to Thursday. So we're going to have to see if it's setting up for a further breakdown. We had the price running up. We had the momentum coming down, dropping just into bearish territory, just like what we saw on the Qs, and then slightly recover a little bit. So we're kind of dangling around bullish or bearish, still kind of making up our minds on where we're going to find that. So I did tell you that I would tell you to get up to 16 free stocks by using my link that's down in the description. So if you like what you saw on Moomoo, if you want access to a wonderful trading app, the free stocks that come along with it, my link down in the description will get you up to 16 of those free stocks. Just make your deposit, and deposits of $100 or more get you free stocks valued up to $2,000 a piece, 5 free stocks for a $100 deposit, and $1,000 or $5,000 both get you 15 free stocks, $50 cash reward at each tier. And if it's the $5,000 deposit, you also get a free share of Tesla or EXPE. So wonderful opportunity. Go ahead and take advantage of it. Just another way that I keep the lights on here, and it's also returning to you. So it's a win for me. It's a win for you. And thank you in advance for whatever it is that you choose to do, even if it was just watching this video. I really do appreciate you guys hanging around. And I'm sorry about all the solicitation, but I am excited about all the different value and services that I can provide. And I would love to hear from you guys. It gets lonely sitting in this studio. So talk to me down in the comments. If you do join the Patreon, if you are part of that community, hit me up in the Discord, chat it up over there, or comment on the Patreon exclusive content that I put in over there as well. And, the more community that we bring to it, the better it makes all of us. And it also just makes it more engaging, and it makes it just a much better environment for trading and investing and bouncing ideas off one another. So for me, education in that way, that spirit of knowing that we're ignorant, that we can't know everything all on our own, to bring the multiple perspectives and really reconcile those and work to really have a cohesive picture of things. That's the sort of education that I like, where we're all working to not only make ourselves better, but also make everyone else better who's in the community surrounding us. So thank you guys for watching this video. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.